In our case, I am interested to know whether this checkbox is marked as true or not. Correct? How to do that? So, to understand this, whenever you define any lightning input tag with type checkbox, there is a default attribute which get attached to this tag, and the name of that attribute is checked. If this checkbox is checked, the value of this attribute check turns to true, and if this checkbox is unmarked, then this value will become false. And I know how to access the value of this checked attribute in my function. What I'll be doing is, instead of I'll not use this v dot label, I'll be using v dot checked. Using v dot checked, if this checkbox is true, it will return true. This true is boolean, and if this is false, it will return false. Okay, so what you need to do is, within the double quotes in this get function, within the double quotes you have to write v dot and whatever the attribute name. So for this checkbox, if we use v dot checked, if the checkbox is true, it will return true. If it is false, it will return false. Simple. Let's do that. So I'm going to helper, and here I'll be using dot get v dot checked. Now if this checkbox is checked, it will return true. If it is unchecked, it will return false. And whatever it returns, I'll assign that to a variable checkbox value. Make sense? Alright. Also, at the component level, we defined one attribute, aura attribute. We defined one aura attribute, checkbox value. Now this attribute is of type boolean. I want to set this attribute. So I'll be using cmp dot set. I want to set this attribute with the value in this checkbox value variable. So v dot and the name of that aura attribute, checkbox value. Okay, fine. Saving my changes, what I have done so far. First, in line 7, I tried to get the value of the checkbox, whether it is true or false. Whatever it comes, I assign it to a variable, and the value of this variable is then assigned to an aura attribute defined at the component level. Now, if this checkbox is true, this aura attribute will get true value, and if it is false, it will get false value. I can, in this aura if tag, I can use this boolean value. How to use the boolean value, or how to use the aura attribute in the component? For that, we use this expression, exclamation mark v dot attribute name. The attribute name is checkbox value. Alright. Now, when this checkbox value will acquire true value, then this text will come up. If it acquires false, this text won't come. Makes sense, right? Now, before this, what I can do is have this within this or if. Alright, let's check. Refreshing my preview page or a page. Okay, now when I mark this checkbox as true, see, this text is coming up. That's great, happy learning. If I uncheck this box, this text doesn't appear. Cool, na? It looks good. I can give one more BR tag. Okay. So, see, that's great, happy learning. It looks good. So now we have seen how to call helper function. To call helper function from the controller, what you need to do is you need to use this helper, this parameter helper, which refers to this helper resource, and then using dot operator and the function name, pass all the required references or the values. So I want to pass the component and the event, I passed it. Okay, if I do not want to pass event because I'm not using it anyway in the helper, so I may not pass this one. Fine, na? Whatever I want, I pass. Makes sense. Alright. Now I am more happy. Why? Because I understand why to use component again for markup. I understand why to use controller for JS functions, and these JS functions can directly be called by an event that occurs at the UI. Now why to call helper again for JS functions, and these JS functions can be called by the controller functions, cannot be called directly by an event but can be called by the controller functions or the functions that are defined in the renderer. And why to use this, and when to and or why to use this style for CSS purpose, for styling purpose. You can use SLDS as well to make your page look more beautiful. I am happy now because I have learned component, I have learned controller, helper and style. So next, before jumping to this renderer, let's cover this documentation, then we'll cover renderer, then design and then SVG. These four resources are comparatively less important than the above four resources. Okay, but I am here to tell you about these four resources, the less important resources as well, so that you can play with them.